Alright, what's going on, adventures? Right here is Charlie's Adventure, and today we're going to be doing something super awesome that I've always wanted to do. And we're here at Gorge Underground with the SUP Kentucky part, which is the deluxe tour. So today we're going to be paddleboarding on crystal clear paddle boards in this old abandoned limestone mine that was flooded back in the 1980s, I believe, is when it got flooded, and it got bought out in 2015 by the new owners that have now been doing tours since then. So I'm bringing my girlfriend, which is the camera woman right behind the camera right now, and we're super excited to do this adventure while we're still here at the Red River Gorge. And if you've seen the last video, we just spent the last 2 days backpacking and camping in the gorge itself, so we're super excited to finish it off with a nice, cool 50-degree tour underground. So basically, it's just going to be us paddleboarding underground, so let's get through the rest of the video right here.
Besides all that kids gear that is under the...
Before we got to go paddleboarding underground in the flooded mines, the guides had to take us through a quick safety lesson and also get us hooked up with life jackets, helmets, and some headlamps. And then after that, they helped us out with getting some awesome pictures right in front of the cave.
You ready?
Settle down now. We're going to turn around. So we'd like to welcome everybody to the Gorge Underground. Again, my name's Zane. We also have Chase. I know I've said that a few times, but it's better if we have an emergency for you all to know our names instead of screaming, "Hey dude, help me!" But does anybody know what we're standing in besides bird poop and bat guano?
A mine.
That's exactly right. We're in an abandoned limestone mine. What gives it away is the clear-cut ceiling, and in some spots you can see where they got a little bit excited with their boom sticks, or a little excessive, kind of blacks out a little bit of the ceiling. But most of the mine has a really clean-cut, perfect roof throughout it. They mined in here for over 100 years. Does anybody know what we use limestone for?
For your field.
You can put it in the field for crops for pH levels and calcium levels in the soil, but there's one main use of it. Y'all are parked in it right now. Gravel and roadway materials. Any of you hit the Burt T. Combs Mountain Parkway on the way in here? So that parkway was actually built out of this mine during like the recession under Lyndon B. Johnson. And they cut this out to create a bunch of jobs for the area, and they built the parkway. They mined in here from 1860 all the way until 1986. Any guesses why they quit mining in here?
Because you cleared it out.
No, it's not because we bought it, not because it's cleared out. Think about what we're going to do.
Oh, it got flooded?
It got flooded. So it's really common in coal mines, limestone mines, for the miners to eventually find an aquifer underground or a spring. So that's what they did in here in 1980. They battled the water for about 6 years, but it just got to where they were spending too much money pumping the water out. Couldn't make a profit off of the material rocks anymore in here. But if y'all are ready, we can start hiking in a little bit. Got about a 4-mile hike before we get to where the dock is.
Really?
Totally joking. It's uphill both ways, too. So y'all wanted the crystal clear kayaks?
Right here?
Pretty crystal clear, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's our little retaining pond, which we do have. There's one right here. It looks like a piece of debris. That's actually a little baby salamander.
Oh, that's so cool.
Our little salamanders will hang out in this little retaining pond for about a year, and then they'll be fully developed. And when they're fully developed, there's another one too right there. Once they're fully developed, they're amphibious, so they can be in the water or they can be out here on land. Sometimes we'll see them crawling up these walls eating the cave crickets.
Yeah.
And they're real pretty when they're adults. They're like bright red, bright orange with polka dots. One of these good ones. Both paddleboarding?
Yep.
Nice. Raise your hand as high as you can for me. Oh, that one's set up for you. I didn't even your toe, was it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Should have grabbed it. But it could also be somebody's nightmare if they got lost out in here. So I've got you backwards.
Yeah.
I'd put your feet as wide as possible. Oh, yeah. He said, I'm bringing these. just in case feet get cold.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's a good idea.
I usually like to paddle
You
barefoot.
can widen a little bit. Yeah, there you go. How's that feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Yep.
What color do you want?
Definitely blue.
You want dark blue?
The light blue.
Baja Blast blue.
Baja Blast. There we go.
And then he's gonna kind of come back here. If you don't care, flick your headlamp off. He'll take a photo or two of you.
We are in the Gorge Underground with SUP Kentucky right here on our crystal clear paddle boards. Me and Ashley. Ashley's got the headlamp so you guys can actually see me. But we're gonna be on an 1.5-hour ride through this amazing old limestone mine that got flooded at the Red River Gorge here in Kentucky. So I'm excited to bring you guys along on this adventure, and we'll kind of just have you guys on my chest mount, and we'll kind of experience all of this together right here with Ashley, like I said, but she's over there blinding you guys right now. So on our awesome, we're the only 2 people paddleboarding, and we're over here barefoot. So I'll try not to fall in right here, and we'll have a blast.
Closely, you'll actually see a bunch of footprints and a bunch of boot prints back in here. We actually had 2 film crews that shot a few scenes for the movies right here in Vermont. So one of those movies is called Surviving the Wild. Y'all know Angelina Jolie?
Yep.
So she wasn't in it. Her dad, John Boyega. Surface of the moon though, all those footprints will stay there until something else comes by and actually messes them up. But while we're going through here, your guys' job is to just kind of follow behind me. I'm going to be the leader. And we want to stay like spread out using the entire width of the hallways. While we're paddling through the underground, y'all are going to notice the old wiring kind of just hanging down here and there. This whole place was wired up with electricity, outlet boxes where the miners could plug in fans and their tools. But that's another one of those things, while this place was abandoned, a few guys came in here and they decided to borrow all the copper wire out of the mine. They still have yet to bring that copper wire back to us. So what we're looking at is one of the old water pipes that the miners used for pumping the water outside while they were battling the water and pumping it out. We just had so many of our paddling guests run into this pipe, we've actually had to decorate it.
Wow.
It's known as the Loch Ness pipe.
The Loch Ness pipe.
Yep. If you look closely down in the water, you'll actually see one of the dams that the miners left behind. And you'll see that water pipe's on the other side of it where they were pumping the water outside of it. It does look like they missed a few gallons of water.
Yep, just
Just a couple. Where I'm at to this intersection, you look down at the bottom, you are going to notice a huge concrete slab. Probably like 15 by 20, maybe a little bit bigger than that. You can even see a water pipe on the back right side of it over there.
Yep.
So this is where the miners kept and ran one of their most important pieces of machinery. It was a rock crushing machine. Anybody know what that machine did in here?
crush rock.
That's right, it made ice cream.
Oh.
No, it did just crush up big giant boulders, turn it into smaller, more manageable material. I think the other one's Chris and, what is it? Chris? What? Chris and Kristen. Just some of them trespassers. They used to spray paint everything. They put a bunch of arrows in here trying to navigate their way through. We tried to follow those arrows one time, and it just takes you in a giant circle. Never takes you outside, just a giant circle. Through 40 feet by 40 feet. So if there's only about 6 or 7 feet in between the water's surface and the ceiling, that means there's over 30 feet of water below us.
Holy cow.
And it's really deceiving because it's crystal clear. It only looks like maybe feet, but I promise, if you were to try to go swim to the bottom, it would take a lot of effort to actually go touch it. So that shiny sparkly stuff that's on the ceiling, it's actually an aquatic fungi. So if you just want to say it like I always say it in here, is there's a fungus among us. It's non-harmful to us, but it's basically just a cave slime. Y'all remember learning about the rocks and minerals here on Earth? We're hanging out in a limestone mine right now, which is a sedimentary rock that forms in layers. Does anybody know what limestone forms out of? I mean, I wish it was a lime and a stone, then you could put it in margaritas. It's not, it doesn't taste like limes, or it might taste like stone, I don't know, I've never tried. You guys ever seen like a piece of rock in your driveway or somebody's driveway that has shells or coral fossils in it?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's the answer. It's a bunch of aquatic, or ancient aquatic life. So about 490, 500 million years ago, Kentucky was actually a very shallow sea. This is during the Pennsylvania era, even Pangea times. And then that shallow sea, it receded, dried up, and it left behind a whole bunch of that oceanic material. And that's what formed all this limestone that we're looking at today. That's why you can find a lot of coral fossils, shell fossils, or we even found a full fish fossil in here too. Right here in the middle. So that's a different type of limestone. It's really rich in magnesium and iron. It's actually starting to rust. So that's why it's turning this copperous color. It doesn't even let a drip of water through when it's storming outside. We flew a drone over the top side of the mine, found the top of it. It's about 30 foot, and it swallowed up a couple of the trees that are out there too. That burning a room or burning a section, they just wanted to keep all their personnel, all their vehicles away from those big giant shale deposits. Once you get up here where I'm at, you're really going to be able to see why they didn't like those shale deposits. This is one of the biggest shale deposits that we have down here in the mine, and there's a hole in the ceiling that's probably 80 foot wide or in radius and 80 foot deep in the ceiling too. We are working our way back into the room where we started. You guys were an outstanding group. Now I need outstanding on my dock.
What's the piece of machine right there?
So yeah, if you didn't see when we started out the tour, the miners left behind a big piece of machinery in here. I don't know how you guys missed that. That's a LHD, a load hauling device. It's an industrial sized dump truck actually.
Wow.
It just broke down and ended up leaving it in here. This is like a big piece of history. I'll just slowly bring you over here so you don't fall in. And you guys can just throw your paddles back on the paddle rack and then hang out over there. We'll hike out as one big group. You're good.
What's up, adventurers? We just ended our awesome paddleboard tour in the Underground Gorge by SUP Kentucky. So me and Ashley right here, we had an absolute blast. I don't know how the footage came out because it was so dark down here, but I'm sure I'll have a lot of layover of everything that's down here, but the whole experience was awesome, and it takes all the paddleboarding that I've done on rivers to like the whole next experience, because I never would have thought I would have ended up paddleboarding in a underground limestone mine. So how'd you like it?
It was pretty fun. It's a little chilly, but it was a great time.
Yeah, it's definitely a little cold. I wore no shoes just because I like paddling barefoot, and that was definitely a challenge. But if you guys didn't watch our last video, we ended up hiking at the Red River Gorge the same weekend as this, so our legs were absolutely toasted. It was very hard to stand up the entire time, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
But as always, you guys get out on your next adventure, and make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment down below on what I should do next for our next big adventure. And let's get on to the next video. Hello.
Purchase your tracks today.